And I've had requests to start making all 4-quarter moon updates. So not just the new and full moon, but also the first and last quarter moon phases. Because I've been writing about them in my weekly horoscopes, but I thought, okay, I might as well give video updates as well. So this week we're having a last quarter moon in Capricorn phase on Sunday. And this I feel is very significant because we're just starting to come into the clearance of the Mars-Saturn war. Mars has just cleared Saturn. We're still feeling a little bit of that residual restraint. It felt like we were really under a lot of pressure and constraint, and it was difficult to really get any momentum. And it probably felt like you were being held in check, like you have all of this ambition and all these desires and things that you want to get off the ground, but because it's spring and it's the season of Aries, it's the time to do new things, but we're all feeling like something is holding us back, and that was Saturn. And it's teaching us, as I've said in previous videos, like sense of timing and a sense of not forcing or pushing and just being still. It's like coming into a really powerful state of stillness and knowing when it's the right time to act and not jumping the gun and not forcing anything and not pushing things when it's not time. And that's one of the hardest things to learn, and that's actually a sign of maturity, is to do, to wait for the right timing, and when it's not the right timing, to keep your ego in check and not do things that are going to like set off a whole chain of reactions that in the end are going to just make you look foolish because you didn't have the patience to wait and just withstand the test, which Saturn is always bringing us different tests. So this is a time where we are still a little bit under the test of self-restraint, self-control, and waiting. I keep saying this is a time, this feels like the season of waiting. And we're still waiting for that new moon in Aries, which is coming on the 15th. But first we're in that very mature last quarter Capricorn phase, which has everything to do with what we want for the long haul. We're really looking at long-term goals, what will support us on a structural level, what's out of alignment with our integrity, and how can we do the right thing that's going to support us for the longest and where we would have the best, rather than the short-term gain, the long-term gain is really the essence of Capricorn. So we don't want to go for the quick fix or the short-term. I keep trying to think of that word. This is Mercury retrograde, but I'm not able to come up with that term of, there's another word for the quick fix that they talk about a lot in emotional intelligence, where you need the delayed gratification. That's what I'm trying to think of. So this is the time of delayed gratification. This is the season of delayed gratification. We cannot force things, push things, assert our will if it's just not in alignment with the cosmos. And right now, a lot of what we're being shown is to be still, be patient, and go inward, because all of the retrograde planets, Jupiter's retrograde, Mercury's still retrograde until the 15th, until the new moon. So during this Capricorn last quarter phase, which is really going to dominate the energy of the weekend because the moon will be in Capricorn all weekend, the last quarter moon is going to drop late Sunday night, late Saturday night going into Sunday. So we'll have the infusion of that Capricorn energy all weekend, which is a very sobering, a little bit melancholy energy, especially with Mars and Saturn there, which it's all about, again, I think, having the self-restraint and discipline to step back, especially with all the retrograde energies right now. We need to step back and realign and reassess and think about what's going to serve us in the long run, not just getting our immediate goals and desires met, but what is really going to support us long term. So those are the questions to be asking right now, especially wherever Capricorn is in your horoscope. Look at what's going to support you for the long haul and what you need to do to get your own integrity and your own structures at, working at optimal level. So it's a waning moon, we're all a little more tired. The energy's a little more subdued. It's definitely a little bit more on the serious side with Capricorn too. So you can take advantage of it. It's a good time to just do all those practical things that you don't want to do normally, because a week from now, when we get into Aries, the Aries cycle, we're going to all want the new. We're going to want the excitement. The energy is going to really shift. So for now, especially with Venus and Taurus, we can slow down, get more sensual, enjoy the pleasures of the body and the senses and the beauty around us, the flowers. This is all Venus and Taurus is supporting this right now. But we don't want to be pushing anyone or forcing anything or rushing anything or making hasty decisions, or just jumping the gun in general. It's just not a time for that. So, but it is a time to rest, reflect, we're still in Mercury retrograde until the 15th too. Maybe do your taxes if you have to wrap that up. Like the practical things. Capricorn really appreciates us taking care of all the practical matters. So this is a great week for that. And, doing the mature thing. So as I had been talking about with the Mercury retrograde in Aries, we've been learning a lot about stepping into our own emperor archetype. And the emperor is really good with structure. And it's the healthy, positive, masculine energy. It's like the good father. The emperor is the good father who knows when to say no and knows what he needs to do to take care of business and knows what kind of structure he wants to have in place and makes really wise decisions that take care of, that support the long run, the long haul. And that's what Capricorn's about too. Making decisions that really honor tradition and build something that lasts. That's Capricorn, building something that lasts. And we're in that long-term Saturn and Capricorn lesson for another few years. So this is a good time to really kind of get our bearings on that. We started that Mars-Saturn cycle that's going to last for 2 years, lessons of Mars and Saturn. And now with this last quarter moon cycle, it's time to really look at the Capricorn area of your life or your chart and do your Saturn work, which is discipline, consistency, structure, maintenance, whatever you need to do to really have everything in alignment in your life. And that also includes time management, like how you spend your time, where you put your energy, where you put your money. All of that is Saturn stuff. And being humble, being of service, doing good work, creating things that are not only of good quality, but will stand the test of time. So no quick fixes, no cheap versions, nothing that skips steps. Saturn does not like us skipping steps. Do it the right way so you don't have to do it again, and so that it's not going to break down later on. So that's my rant about Saturn. And the last quarter moon in Capricorn is under the influence of Saturn. And even Mars is still under the influence of Saturn because Mars is answering to Saturn in Capricorn. So it's a very strong Saturn and Capricorn time. And I wrote a book called Surviving Saturn's Return. We're actually in the process of rewriting it, revamping it for Mercury retrograde, which is perfect. And it's a great time to really do all of the Saturn, do all of your Saturn work. Say no, set boundaries, and honor your elders. Feed a crow on Saturday. Thanks for watching.